Right,
Hello and
I believe we're
welcome. Are
live.
we live? Welcome everyone to another week of our live reviews here at Exposure Ninja. I am Andrea, the marketing consultant team manager, and I'm joined by our wonderful Freddie, whose tash is about done now. Are we, Freddie? Last day of November for you?
Yeah, last day today, so I can get rid of it. Don't have to see this
Woohoo.
anymore.
Oh, I think are you at the UK Search Awards tonight as well? Are you gonna get vid or are we sticking?
Well, I have to keep it, don't I, by rules of Movember. So I'll be hopefully in a few photos where, yeah, that's the main thing, main event.
Amazing. Where are we all watching from today? Lovely to hear from you all. As always, this is going to be very much needing your opinion as and when we are required. So we've got a few great websites to talk through. We're going to be talking through as well, not just the conversion elements in a website today. We're going to be focusing in on the search elements as well. So looking at the performance of traffic, what you want to be thinking about from a traffic perspective. So don't be shy. We are certainly going to be wanting your thoughts and opinions. How's the weather looking where you are at the moment, Freddie? We are bloody freezing, quite frankly, over here.
Yeah, it's drab. It's not great. It feels like winter.
Yeah, that's a great description. Drab, definitely. And have you got your Christmas tree up? Are we all Christmasified yet? No? Yes, no, too early?
No, not till December, I don't think. When do you get yours up?
We have to, we have to have it up for today because my little boy, who is 8, expects the arrival of Mr. and Mrs. Jingles, his elves that arrive on the 1st of December, ready to see him through the Christmas. I've dug myself into a massive hole, basically, and now I have to have the Christmas tree up ready for the 1st of December every single year. Yeah. Honestly, parents out there, I'm sure you'll feel my pain. You get yourself into all sorts of holes at Christmas. So I had to spend my days off putting the Christmas tree up yesterday, which was lovely. Oh, it sounds like it's cold everywhere. So we've got Trevor, rainy here in G. What do we know what GA is?
Where's GA? Yeah, I've got no idea where GA is.
No.
GA. I'm thinking
no, we're going to need a bit more information there, Trevor. Make sure we've got that right. That would be great. Ralph's Orchid, hello. Cold and grim in London as well. Yes. Or you're going down to London, isn't it? You're going down to as well, so even more colder, even more grimmer later when you get on that train, Freddie. Oh,
I hope they've got the heating on the train. That's what I hope.
Yeah. Good luck with that one. Yeah. Oh, boo hiss. No Christmas tree yet. Goodness me. Yes. For next week, yes, please. Canada. I imagine it's blooming freezing in Canada, from what I can say from speaking to everybody. Nice to see. Oh, Georgia. Thank you, Trevor, for explaining that. GA, Georgia.
Georgia.
Thank
yeah,
you.
of course.
Yes. We hope you had a happy Thanksgiving last week. And yes, English weather indeed. Ugh. Should we get started, Freddie? Because we have got some exciting stuff to get through today for everybody, haven't we?
Let's dive in. Which one are we starting with today then, Andrea?
Shall we go
3 really exciting ones.
Events? Did we say the Strawberry Events Company? Yeah.
There we go. Blue Strawberry, that's the one. So this is bluestrawberry.co.uk. As you might be able to tell, they are an events company. Hopefully you'll be able to tell that. So first of all, before we dive into this one, we're gonna look at the website. We're gonna look at how we could be improving this, what our recommendations are going to be. But we're also going to dive a little bit deeper today, as Andrea said earlier. We're going to look at the SEO side of things too. So we'll be looking at some tools. We'll be looking at SEMRush. We'll be using Streaming Frog to look at this in a bit more detail. But first off, let us know what you think of this website. So is it good? Is it bad? What would you recommend for this particular site upon first looking at it? Do you understand what they do? I realize I've given the game away because I've said what they do, but do you know what they do if I hadn't told you? Let us know what you think.
Good thing. So this is Lindsay. Lindsay, if you're in the chat, come and say hello as well. That would be exceptionally helpful, who has submitted this particular review. Let's see what everybody is thinking. Okay, so confusing, not sure. Yeah, I think that's a fair reflection there. And also Trevor as well, font for headlines needs to be more clear. Yes. I agree with that as well. I feel like people have this lovely vision, style, brand, and everything, particularly in this kind of industry of, you know, trying to get in that lifestyle. But actually, what you tend to do by having this kind of look and style, you'll detract from your sales messages rather than being able to be really clear and digestible information using the right kind of font for sure. Yep, Daniel, you are spot on. We are looking at a catering of sorts industry, I guess, but yep, you're absolutely going down there. What do you think, Freddie?
I think first of all, the imagery is really, really good. So that's one thing I'd say, gold star, tick, whatever we want to say with that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lindsay has popped up as well in the chat.
Yeah.
So, hello,
Welcome,
Lindsay. So yeah, feel free to feedback any information, any questions we might have during this review as well. It helps us just to dive in as much as possible. Yeah, first impression is images are really good. I think what would be really helpful, it's not exactly a slider, but these are moving quite quickly. So that could be putting people off. Some of these as well, you have a white background on the white text, and that text is actually quite hard to read. So it's taken me a few minutes to actually get my head down and read it. Incredible food, impeccable service, and imaginative events. Bit of a tongue twister. But the problem we have with that font is that it's so hard to read. So you're actually having to like strain your eyes, you're having to actually really think about what it says. And we don't want to be doing that to people that land on our site. Of course, we want to make it look fancy. We want to make it look amazing. And the images are doing that. But we can still find fonts and information with that positioning statement that's going to get across to people what you do. I'd also want to think about where you're based as well, I think, straight away. So I know we do have some content just below here. Again, quite hard to read, quite small. Same with this stuff as well. So I think the first impression is because I'm struggling to read things, that might put me off, and I might not even stay on this site for very long because I can't read it. What's your impression then, Andrea? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm exactly the same for you, which is quite typical of kind of these type of businesses that we get coming through. The really great news here is you've got the hard work with the imagery, the lifestyle, look, feel, those kind of elements. Now we need to put in that user flow and that user experience. I'm not clear exactly who you're targeting here. So are we looking at that B2C market, the B2B market, or is it a combination of both? So as your target audience, what we need to think about is, can they find what they're looking for straight away? Can they get to the destination of where they know you're going to be able to help them? There's no real drop downs from the menu that's helping me. There's really not a massive amount of actual content on this menu as well. We've got all these fantastic credentials right towards the bottom. And you know what we're going to say if you listen to the reviews here week in, week out, we want to be pushing those towards the top so people can see the credibility straight away. It looks like you specialize within the London kind of areas, and looking at the venues, they're pretty blooming impressive. So if you click on that venue tab there, Freddie, you'll see if we actually look at the venues themselves, scrolling down a little bit, we have some pretty, pretty impressive venues on here. And I was genuinely shocked when I got to this page to see the level of venues that you have up for hire. So this feels like a very specific target audience, and I'm not convinced when they land on your website that they know that they're in the right place right from the get-go on the homepage. So I feel like there's a lot more to be done here from a kind of a tone of voice. The content needs to be right to make sure that that target audience understands that. But absolutely incredible business. It looks fantastic for sure. Be really interesting to see, Lindsay, what kind of marketing you've been doing, if it has been digital focused or not digital focused, and we're really looking at a kind of a starting place for you really today more than anything.
Yeah, wow, I didn't realize all of the venues. This is awesome. Yeah, so these are some really high-end venues in London. I think this might be just be thinking about more logically as well. So maybe a drop downs of some of the most popular venues would be useful. Drop down by location, events as well. I'm not sure. Andrew's already said, I'm not sure if you're B2B, B2C. Do you focus on weddings? Do you focus on corporate? I don't know. I've got no idea. So it might be that you do all of those, in which case you might want to have a drop down. Oh, we do have
Drop
there
down,
we go.
lovely.
It didn't show within the first second. So do you know what
That's
I did
weird.
there? I went on that, didn't see anything, and then almost missed that. So it's these little things that actually make quite a big difference. So corporate events, private events, and weddings. Okay, so you do have those pages, but I need to hover over that for a good second for it to show up. Again, people are moving quite quickly. I'm assuming the type of events and people that are looking at these as well probably have quite busy lives. That extra second it takes for that to load up, it could be the difference. Who knows? It could be the difference.
Yeah, that's it. I think ultimately here, the biggest thing of all is, what do we want people to do who land on this website? This is the big gun, when we're thinking about websites, the purpose of them, the action that you want somebody to take. So thinking about that journey, or somebody's coming into your website, the first thing they're going to want to do is find out more about your venues, find out more about your services. So then you want them to be searching for those kind of elements. But then ultimately, do you want them to call you? Do you want them to drop you an email? Do you want them to get in touch in a certain way? So you'll know your target audience better than us at this stage. Like, how do they best respond to you as a business? Is it because they want a free consultation? They want, a free element to find out how much an event costs? Really making sure that you've got that journey in place that's for your own individual target audience.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. What is the next step when someone typically works with you? Do you have maybe even just a brochure download would be something that could be useful as well? And then you've got them on your email marketing list. You could get them that way. There's no call to action, is there? There's no real call to action. And the ones that we have these that are say more. And you could quite easily miss those as well.
Yeah.
So
I think I'd be tempted, if we were looking at a fix or a rebuild, to be looking at right from the get-go here, thinking about this whole process in a slightly different way, and getting the layout and the design where it needs to be.
Yeah, definitely. I think definitely the design needs sorting out, the call to action needs sorting out. Like we said before, imagery is great. There needs to be relevant content, and it needs to be really clear what the user journey is, what we expect to do. I just feel like I'm not getting the information that we need straight away.
Yeah.
So should we have a look at them?
Yeah, sorry, I think this one summarizes it beautifully. So hopefully, Lindsay, there's lots of really useful comments coming through from everybody in the stream as well. But I totally agree. This is what it feels like, is that actually we don't really have a focus on digital marketing at the moment. The focus is on, where your clients are coming from. And this is a bit more of a holding site for those that are maybe already familiar with you and just want to check you out as a brand. But of course, we're in the business of making sure that websites are business tools, and we want to make sure that we're setting you up so when you're asleep at night and people are searching for things, they still find you. So absolutely, as Freddie said, let's jump in now to actually how the website's performing from a traffic, and see how what it is bringing in for you. So I'm going to leave you to explain a little bit here, Freddie, about SEMRush.
Yes, so SEMRush is one of the tools that we use here at Exposure Ninja to essentially snoop, to have a look at how well you're doing right now in terms of the organic traffic you're getting through, which keywords you're ranking for, how authoritative your website is, looking at things like backlinks. And if you've got any ads running or competitors' ads that are running, you can even look at which ads they're running too. So we could spend hours and hours and hours on SEMRush. We're going to focus on some key areas of this though, because this will give you a good idea in terms of things like traffic trends and how to prioritize different keywords you should be targeting. And also we'll try and look at some competitor stuff as well, just to see how they're doing it better. And that can actually make it quite exciting when you see that we're only getting through less than 400 people worldwide. This is on a monthly basis through organic traffic. And we see people that are getting hundreds of thousands through. We're like, wow, we can get to that level. They're doing it. Why can't we? So let's start with that organic traffic then, and we'll focus on UK traffic, as that's going to make most sense. So what can we see here then? So there's a lot of stuff here that could potentially overwhelm you, but we'll focus on some key metrics. So the ones we're looking at here are keywords, traffic, and then also the traffic cost, which doesn't actually show us a graph, but these graphs are quite useful to get an idea of what's been happening over the past 1 month. We'll go back to 2 years, just potentially this is a fairly new site, maybe 6 months old, potentially a year old. I might be wrong there, but we can see the traffic trends over time. Now, just to give you a bit of clarity on this, we aren't diving into someone's analytics here. This isn't the exact numbers. This is very much it's an estimate, and so these estimates, they're not going to be exactly correct. They will be they'll be taking where you're ranking, how many people search for them, using estimates, and then we'll work out, okay, this is how many keywords you're ranking for, this is the traffic, this is the value of the traffic, based on what we call the CPC. So that's the cost per click, and that's how much you would be spending on a paid ad for trying to target that keyword. So if I typed in, for example, catering venue London, we click on one of these ads, it's probably going to cost us, I can try and work this out exactly. Oh, wrong one. Hang on. I can't see if we got it on here, but let's say it costs 2 or 3 quid. It might cost more actually, because it's London. It's quite specific. But yeah, so what can we do with this data then? Well, we can see how well you're doing right now, and I'm going to chuck it back over to Andrea to give her opinion on how well you're currently doing.
Yeah, well, the really good news here is that there's massive potential, because right now we can see that you're only actually visible for 11 keywords that people would be typing into Google. So we do not have a massive presence right now. So what SEMRush is doing at this moment in time is it's taking those 11 keywords, looking at where you're positioned for those 11 keywords, and then is determining what, sort of click-through rate it would expect you to get, and then giving you an approximate of that traffic. So I'm afraid at this moment in time, what we can see, well, the good news here is that we can see the first couple of keywords and phrases are the brand. So that means that people know who you are from a brand perspective, and are typing into Google the name of the brand to get through to your website. I think like we all do that. We're all guilty of it, aren't we? Even if we're looking for an individual website, we go into Google rather than typing it directly as a URL. And that's what's right now delivering traffic into your website. It doesn't look, I'm afraid, like there's any strategy in play. Now, the really great news here is that if you were to have a new website with a digital marketing strategy in play, where we want to begin that website are with elements like keyword research. So really finding what your target audience is searching for to find your services, to find your venues, to find your events that they would be landing on. And then all of those key events, what we want to then do is build out pages dedicated to them. And this is really to show Google that if somebody is looking, for example, for an event hire, I think Kensington Palace massively stuck out for me when I went onto your venues there. If somebody is looking for, event hire at Kensington Palace, we need a page dedicated to event hire at Kensington Palace. What we then need to make sure of is that we're capturing it, got lots of relevant content on there to show Google you've got, some compelling content for the searcher of those terms. So this is where we want to be thinking about what is your target audience searching for within Google, and SEMRush is going to really help you with this, because we have elements here like the keyword magic tool. So if we're looking at a bit of a broader element of things, so if we go to that magic tool right now and we put in things like event hire company London, which is obviously quite a generic term, but what SEMRush will do here is it will give us an indicator of keywords around that. So we can see we've got in a broad match at the top there, and then we've got all these different keywords and phrases that are coming up that are similar to that. And you can see, I don't know whether actually this is maybe quite a small keyword or phrase, but it will give you like commercial intent. So that is actually coming up quite a small. I've gone too specific, Freddie, haven't I?
Yeah.
Event hire.
Let's just go event hire London. I think that might be a bit broader.
There we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
So what we can see here straight away is that intent there. And SEMRush is trying to show you the commercial intent of a keyword or phrase. Now, the commercial intent here is where people are ready to go. They want this service. They want this product. And this helps you to hone in on whether or not you should be targeting a certain keyword at a certain stage for a certain page on your website. So this is what we want to be focusing in on, is finding what your target audience is searching for those key pages pages on your website and then building out content around them to show you've got a fantastic experience. And the really great news here is that this is a strategy that's going to really help your business to be found within Google when people are searching for your services. And certainly I would say right now, that needs to be the focus for your website and for your digital marketing strategy, is really kind of taking a massive step back, starting again with where you want to go with it.
Yeah, amazingly put. So this is one of the new features, I think, actually in SEMRush. So showing you what type of intent there is behind the search. Commercial intent means, yeah, people are going to be ready to buy, basically. And it's these ones typically that will be the most, what we call bottom of funnel. So people are ready to go. And yeah, so if you can prioritize those assuming you're not up against like huge competitors, then go for those for sure.
Yeah.
What does N mean? So navigational, and
yeah.
informational.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got, so what it's showing you there. So for example, where somebody would be searching for different kind of events, or, you know, whether they need an event hire company, that would be more kind of informational for what people are, you know, they're starting the search out. And they're really great to be targeting those kind of people when you're creating blogs or insights and things like that for your business. And the important factor there is that you capture that traffic. If you're creating content on your website, you want to capture it with email marketing or something similar. So then you can nurture it and take it through your pipeline with your sales funnel. But yeah, so it's really important that you firstly have those key pages in place and then look at a more informational side of things, kind of more top of funnel when you're building out new content on an ongoing basis.
Yeah. Amazing. Awesome stuff. So we're also going to look at another tool we use, not just SEMRush, but one that, this is one that actually looks at the data. So let me just get this up. Okay, we've already put it in. Here's one I prepared earlier, Blue Peter style. Is it Blue Peter?
Yeah.
That is Blue Peter.
It's Blue Peter. How can you?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I was just checking. I couldn't remember if it was that or the other one was like Art Attack, but that, maybe there's a different phrase for that.
That's completely different. That was with the guy with the yeah.
Oh no. Okay, right.
Oh, Lindsay. Right.
Right.
Okay.
Now it all makes sense. Okay, great. So there's a reason. Well, there's a big reason we're not seeing much in terms of what we call non-branded terms in SEMRush here. So branded means everything there is your brand. Non-branded would be something like Event Hire London, Caterers London, and then like Andrea said as well, the venues. So specifically St. Paul's Cathedral venue hire would be something you want to target. Now, what we're looking at here are your page titles. These things here in blue, I don't know if you can see them very well, but they are your page titles. And what this looks like in the wild, in an actual search results page, is if I scroll down, we go past the ads, we go past the map pack, and here we can see the page titles for the websites that are currently ranking. Now, why are these important? Well, page titles, they communicate to Google which keyword you're aiming to rank that specific page for. So this means then that every single one of your pages should have a really clear and definite target keyword that the page title is structured around. So for example, if we were trying to target the fairly broad keyword, venue hire or events company London, we'd want that to be at the front end and then have your brand name at the end of this. Where are we going wrong? Well, the homepage is called homepage. People aren't searching for homepage. The news page is called news. The St. Paul's Cathedral page is just called St. Paul's Cathedral. In this form of things, you're currently trying to compete against Wikipedia or any other website that is just telling you the information about St. Paul's Cathedral. We'd want this to be hire St. Paul's Cathedral London or company to whatever the right keyword's going to be, but it needs to have the right intent. We need to do the research in the front end and optimize these. So wow, there's tons of opportunity then with these for sure. We've also got these meta descriptions as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about meta descriptions, Andrea, and sort of explain those?
Of course. It's quite. Can you just type some gobbledygook into that little search box below for me? That would be great.
Gobbledygook.
You're much better than me. I usually just end up going, this is my reviews and like this is what a meta description should be. So with the page title, which is an indicator to Google where you're literally telling them this is what my page is about, this is what I want to be ranking for. The meta description is not about increasing your visibility within Google, it's about helping your click-through rate. So if you imagine that somebody is looking for an event hire company, London, what's going to happen in Google search results is you're going to be put in alongside all of your competitors. So you can see how easily you could get lost here within these search results. So with your meta description, this is your chance to really tell the searcher, come to our website, we're amazing, we do X, Y, Z, that's different to everybody else. So this is where if you were talking to, to somebody about your business, what makes you so special, what makes you so different, we want these USPs here in this meta description. So it should be different for every page, because every page, of course, is going to be a different kind of service, a different kind of offering that you've got. So we don't want repetitive, USPs and benefits. It should be absolutely honed in to that individual keyword that you're trying to convince somebody to come to your website for. And the other big factor here as well is that we'd want to stick to a kind of a limit, a character length, which is around 155 characters you've got for your meta description. Now, we don't want to go over either with the page title, which is 60 characters, or your meta description, which is 155 characters, because you're going to end up truncated, which means you're going to end up cut off. People are not understanding your sales messages. It's not making a great first impression. Really focus in on making sure you're sticking to those character lengths. And that's really, all of our SEO strategies here, they'll always begin with keyword research, because if you don't have that in place first, so that you're bringing in the right quality audience into your website, you then need to map out the back end of your website with your page titles, your H1s, your H2s, making sure your metas are all working super hard. And then it's about going with the content of what the keyword research is telling you that you want to be building up on an ongoing basis with a good SEO strategy as well. I'm aware that's a lot that we've just thrown at you there. Please do let us know if you have any questions as well. I think I'm going to put some links in as well to help people and direct to SEO strategies as well. If I know we've recently made some videos, so I'm going to pop them in as well for everybody to have a good read through and watch as well. I think that would be really useful for everybody. I'll pop them in now.
Amazing.
But yeah, any questions, just give us a shout with this. I know there's a question there about SEO and if it's an issue, my site is not written in it yet. Well, obviously, I'm afraid Freddie and I are English only from a language perspective, so we won't be able to give you much guidance if we're outside of English, I'm afraid.
Yeah, especially when we're looking at things like page titles and meta descriptions, we need to be able to understand what they say. Otherwise, we won't really be able to give you much insight there as well. But take away the learnings from this. Go have a look at some of those links that Andrew's just put in the chat as well. And this can be something that you can sort of dive into yourself and learn a little bit more about yourself if you have the time to do so. Awesome. So basically what we're saying then is we need a new website with this, and even just from an SEO, new strategy. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Amazing. Cool. Right. Well, we've got through one website, and you'll have got the Thank You Ninjas website linked to you there as well. So you can get a free trial of SEMRush if you want to have a look at this data yourself. You can put your website in, you can put your competitors' websites in, you can do keyword research, you can even look at ads that people are running as well. So really, really exciting stuff. Let's move on then.
Sorry. I've just seen Lindsay's just dropped us a note. Sorry, I think we're in a bit of a delay with your comments. So this needs to be done from the back end of your website. So really making sure that you're implementing. So I think your WordPress, if I remember rightly, Lindsay. So you'll have, I think you've got Yoast in the back end as well. So you want to be using the likes of Yoast to be implementing those changes for yourself, but you want to be using those kind of tools to give you an overview of what's going on and what's currently being targeted at the moment.
Yeah, I think number one thing is before you start changing your page titles and your meta descriptions, keyword research, because without that underlying strategy, without that underlying understanding of what you need to be targeting, you could just be replacing what's in there at the moment with something that's not right as well.
Bring your target audience in.
Make sure you get that important piece done right, because it can otherwise just, you might still see some of the same stuff. Do you have any more questions? Let's just see if we have any more.
Yeah.
I think we're all good, aren't we? Cool.
Yeah.
Right. On to the next one. And actually, before we go on to the next one, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, all those things. And that just tells the algorithm that you enjoy this content. It means we keep on putting out these reviews. We find them quite entertaining, and we love also getting your feedback as well. So please let us know if you're enjoying it as well in the comments. That's not the right one, is it? Hang on, it's this one. That was the competitor we were looking at, but we'll show you some competitor stuff in a second, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
So this is Orchid Republic. I'm saying that right, I hope. And they are what are they? Well, I'll let you work that out for yourselves actually this time. What do you think of this particular website?
I don't think that's on the homepage, Freddie, just so you know. It looks like there's a URL in the...
Oh dear. Okay,
there we
go. I was thinking their website looks even worse than before. Oh, shouldn't say that. It is looking worse than before.
That would make more sense. Right. Yeah. While you are all thinking about that, I am just going to bring up a comment from I think what we've been talking about, where I'm saying, I don't really understand what the problem is with the website. Can't you work on what they've got already? Now, our experience here is when you have got so many changes that you need to make to the flow, the content, the targeting, the optimization of a website, it is usually far quicker and also cost effective to begin again with everything correctly in place. If you're continually trying to put plasters and plasters and plasters over things, you'll eventually get to a stage where 6 months down the line, you'll be like, oh my goodness, I need to start again. And you just have to begin then. So we will always find here that it's sometimes faster and cheaper to start right again once you've got all the right information to hand. And that's why we would suggest with these kind of things where you want to begin with a website, because what you can do when you're building a website is make sure you've got the targeting correctly right from the get-go and then working up from there.
Yeah, so true. I think we've had it quite a few times before actually, where we've recommended to a client, look, we would recommend going with a new website straight away as soon as you can. And we've got 6 months down the line and we've made progress, but we then just come to the conclusion that we need to redo this anyway. And it's better just to get it done as soon as you can, if that is the recommendation, rather than sort of trying to patch things up like Andrea says, and then being 6-12 months down the line and needing to redo it anyway. Awesome. So what is happening then? Oh, hang on. We've got a nice comment there as well.
Oh.
Exactly. Yeah, Daniel is one of our clients, and we're currently building a website for him for his business. And yeah, it was in the position where it needed redoing. So we know exactly how that feels.
Missed that one, Daniel. Sorry. Right. So what have we got? So we've got Orchid Republic here. So we have got looks great. Call to action in banner. Images are pretty. Text is clear. I'm guessing they are a florist. Good guess. Yes, absolutely. So Van has requested this review from us, and yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it is. It is a florist. What do you think, Freddie?
It's got some good stuff, but there's so much opportunity here. It's quite exciting actually, I think, because yeah, lots of white space, lots of stuff we don't have that we typically want to see with a site. The above the fold area could do with a lot of work. Again, imagery is quite good with this one, I think, which is one of its saving graces. And I just hate sliders.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, we let the last one go, to be honest, with the sliders. But yeah, not with this one, I'm afraid. Yeah, I totally agree. I think we need this above the fold needs a rethink, doesn't it? More than anything. Again, the really hard part is sometimes making sure you've got the imagery that is right for a business. These guys have nailed this. It looks beautiful. They look stunning. It's absolutely appealing to the right kind of audience. But within that element at this moment in time, what we've got within the header, we want to remix that around a little bit. We want the logo, we want the menu, we want did it have a sticky menu, Freddie, or did we not have a sticky either?
Nope.
No sticky menu. So particularly with these kind of businesses, because what will typically happen here is when people are looking for flowers, they'll go down one of two routes, where they go immediately, I'm having that first one that I see there because I can't be bothered to scroll, or they'll go down a rabbit hole and they'll I'm more the rabbit hole because I want to get the perfect flower gift and bouquet and stuff. So know your audience and which one this is. And this is where we need that user flow in place for the person who really wants to make sure they're picking out the right elements, because otherwise they are going to just get fed up and bounce away. So really important that you get a sticky flow in place. These guys are going to really benefit from a USP bar as well, aren't they? Our old friends AO.com. This is really important. If you think about your target audience, what's important to them, they need to know straight away, where is delivery? It took me ages to figure out like that you deliver to any certain parts within the US, and I had to click through a few pages in order to find that. You need to make it really clear, really obvious. We need to know, you know, what's important to them, next day delivery, those kind of, or, you know, on the same day delivery, those kind of things that you could be promoting within a USP bar. So really making sure you've got all those core elements in place within that above the fold. And reviews are going to play a big part for somebody like yourself as well. So making sure that, you know, people are having a fantastic experience. If I'm buying a gift for somebody and I want to know that it's going to be delivered on time, I want that confidence boost, and a credibility element is going to really help with that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Then tell them about the sliders.
That's some interesting. we'll get to the sliders in a second. Actually, there's one thing above the slider that I want to highlight as well. So, and someone's mentioned it. So the logo takes up a lot of space, and probably a good idea to add in a search bar. Reviews, definitely. There actually is a search bar here, but it's in the top left-hand corner, so you probably didn't even notice that. No. So we need to rejig this for sure. But this doesn't need to be that big in terms of a logo. If we do have this space here, add a USP bar above it or below it. We could even move that there, move that across, and you've got then way more above the fold area for the information that we probably need and want, which takes us on then to the slider. So, okay. Okay, so sliders can sometimes be a little bit more relevant for a business that has lots of products, and you might have events, and so this one is particularly for, I'm assuming, for Christmas. They've got this sort of like featured thing there. However, it's now stopped running through, but as we know, when the sliders are running through, it can quite quickly and easily confuse us and not be clear what you actually sell. One question that's come up is it just orchids that you sell? It's a good question. And one thing I noticed with this in particular is if we look at the different sliders here, so shop now's on the left, now it's on the right, now it's on the left, now it's in the middle. Where is it now? It's not even there. So we're moving the CTA around all the time as well. So it's just a little bit harder to navigate. What we recommend typically instead, these are actual images as well, aren't they? I just realized that. Let's just look at this on a mobile quickly. Oh dear. Okay. This is another reason we don't recommend sometimes sliders and sometimes images for your slider. So this is a button technically for the whole thing. The problem we have here for mobile is because you're using an image that is stretched no matter what size the how responsive your thing is. Let me just do this responsively and you'll see that it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The problem with this is that when we do get down to the size of an iPhone 12, which is still a fairly chunky phone, this is now nigh on impossible to read, isn't it? And some of these are still just about readable, but still really hard to read some of these. The other issue we have is if you do have a headline on that page. So let's say we're trying to target the keyword Los Angeles delivery, flower delivery, or orchid delivery, if that's the only things you sell. We then actually don't have that as HTML text, so Google can't pick that up. Now we could have that below, but we don't seem to have that below either. So yeah, few issues with the sliders. I just avoid them in general because they cause more hassle than they do improvements, I would say.
Absolutely. I totally get, why e-commerce want to be focusing in, events like Black Friday, events like Christmas, but if you really want to go down that kind of route, have your benefit positioning statement, then create yourself a little icon for, like Christmas or seasonal, gifts here, which will then click through to something separately within that main featured image for you. But I think from what that comment was as well about, are they just orchids? I don't believe they are. So if you go through to like shop flowers, we can see here there are lots of different types of flowers. And again, because you don't have that benefit positioning statement, there's nothing to say here that, you know, that you're not just orchids. So you're in danger here if somebody comes in, they realize they don't want an orchid, they want something else, that they bounce from your site because they're not getting any information that's telling them that you are flowery delivery for XYZ in X amount of time. They feel like you're on the higher end as well from a delivery perspective. So, you know, you're targeting high-end customers here as well, from what we can see from the overall cost as well. So that's really important that people know that they're in the right place right from the get-go.
Yeah, definitely for sure. What do you think this is full width?
Tricky, isn't it? Tricky to
see. It's some, I feel like I'm missing some areas. This needs work, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
Should we have a little
another thing?
Go on, sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
I was just going to say, should we go and jump into a product page, because you know what we're doing. We're talking again, aren't we, Freddie? And not actually. Yeah. You could be here all day.
Not reviewing. Exactly. Right, let's look at this one. So, Talia's Daydream, pricing, quantity, add to cart. What can you read? Can you see that on your screen? Is that like quite a hard? I can't really see that button, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's not popping, is it? I totally get it, because it's, you know, obviously within the style. But what you probably want to think about here is, you know, something that's complementary to that pink, that's going to pop a bit more for you to be able to see and kind of hone in on. But again, lovely imagery here, like really nice product pages. Yeah. The other thing as well is, like, where we've called it Talia's, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that as well, Daydream. What is this? So what's somebody searching for to land on this individual page? What kind of bouquet is it? Is it a luxury bouquet? You know, is it, we really want to be making sure we've got some good keywords in there.
There's some good stuff here. So it's recommended for certain types of event, which I quite like.
Yeah.
But yeah, what featured flowers are there? Okay. Yeah, it should be a little bit clearer, shouldn't it? And I think that would be really useful there. Product description's good. We've got some upsell stuff there as well, and related products.
Yeah.
Still no reviews or testimonials?
No, not seeing that. And I think that, that USP bar is going to go down so well, isn't it? If somebody's landing on this page and they can see straight away at a glance that this is going to be able to be delivered to them within X amount of time, why they should be using them, that kind of thing, certainly.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So we've had a look at the website. Definitely room here to improve the design and to get some of those key things that we speak about a lot to help boost the conversion rate. How is this website doing in terms of traffic? Let's go and have a look at SEMRush again. Cool. So this is the overview page again, and this is worldwide traffic. We'll have a look specifically at US because obviously it's a US based business. Total traffic 29,000 per month, and we can't see any paid search traffic coming through. We can see about 65% of that is coming from the US. And then we have organic traffic and keyword visibility here as well. Let's dive into just the organic stuff, because this is where we want to focus on really. And I know Andrew's done quite a lot of sort of digging into this one already, but the first thing I want to highlight is, well, that doesn't matter.
Just on the UK.
We're in the UK. I was like,
UK,
like wow, 2000. That's where's the traffic one? Okay, yeah. Right, we're on the right one now. So on the US. Now what we can see here is there was a lovely increase in traffic up until July 2021. That's when it's peaked on about 140,000. Since then, though, there has been a really, really big drop off. In fact, we've gone from 130 down to under 20,000 traffic coming through. So we can see there's an issue here. We can see that this has gone in completely the wrong direction. We can look at some of the keywords as well, though, and this is where it gets a little bit confusing, is we can see they're actually ranking for more keywords than they were a year ago. In fact, more of them are position 1 to 3 and 4 to 10 as well, which is kind of confusing. So I know you've already looked at this one, Andrea. So what's your take on this? Why are we seeing this decrease, even though there's more keywords that they're ranking for? What's happened here?
Yeah, it's a really interesting one, and obviously we don't know everything that's absolutely happening within this business at this moment in time. So Van, please do let us know if we're missing a trick here more than anything. That I think the first thing that we need to think about as well with traffic is that there is trends. There's always going to be trends with traffic, and what they may have been seeing back in 2021 was where COVID elements were going on within the US and lockdown, so people may have been sending more and more things online from that side. But also when we start digging around the traffic, what we can see here that's coming through is very, very research heavy at this moment in time. And somebody mentioned before about that it's confusing, is the word just orchids, and we don't really have any keywords that are coming through that are around flower delivery. We don't even have any kind of location-based delivery. It is all these kind of top kind of content ones around orchids, around questions to do with flowers. We're not seeing those commercial intent ones. So it just feels right now that the strategy just hasn't been there, and it hasn't been put in place off the back of keyword research. I think this really highlights the importance of keyword research when you're starting out with an SEO strategy, because if you don't have the right targeting in place, you're just firing out content on your website without a focus, without a thought, without this is who I'm going after, this is where my target audience is. This is where you could potentially get yourself into a bit more of a pickle, where you're not bringing in the right quality traffic into your website. So what we can see there are, they're all heading towards the blog. They're all heading towards the individual pages, the research pages, not the key pages on the website, which is really shouting to me that we don't have the right quality traffic coming through into this website that's going to make purchases. And there's a bit of a mismatch here from a targeting. And I think that this is, can we pop this one into Screaming Frog, Freddie, and we can kind of show really what the targeting and what right now this business is telling Google that they want to be known with and what they want to be associated with, because this Screaming Frog's really allowing us to see a bit of a glance here as to what's going on and where that targeting has been put in play. And if we look at this is a Mrs. Monster website. This one is absolutely huge, which is great to see. But we can see, if we take that, just a little reminder of what Freddie was saying earlier with the page title, this is your chance to tell Google what you want every single one of your pages to be visible for, what you want to be targeting from a keyword perspective. And what we've got right now is Los Angeles and Orange County orchid arrangements. Now, I don't believe that that's going to have a particularly high search volume attached to it. I don't believe that's a reflection of what the top line is from what I can see on the website at this moment in time. Absolutely, Los Angeles flower delivery. Those are the kind of keywords and phrases that you potentially are going to be wanting to think about. Again, whether or the location is important to you, but that isn't working right now to deliver the right quality traffic to where you are today from a website perspective. We can also see that's been truncated because it just hasn't been optimized to the right kind of character length either. So it feels like there's a big mismatch here at this moment in time between what you've got from an offering and what you're targeting. I don't know if you've got any additional thoughts on that one, Freddie.
Yeah, no, it's we need to sort out the keyword research and what we're trying to go after here. I've just typed in Los Angeles orchid arrangements into Google, and the estimated volume is 20. Let's compare that to Los Angeles flower delivery. Let's see what the difference is. 2,500, and that's a commercial keyword as well. So there's a strategy thing here that needs to be sorted out for sure. And you picked it up really quickly as well with the keywords we're ranking for. They're all informational. It's yellow flower names, June birth flower, are orchids edible? I'm not going to be buying flowers if I'm typing this sort of thing in. I'm going to be looking for the answer to these questions. And yeah, you might get the odd person that ends up buying, but we need to go after the right keywords, the right people, because of what they're searching for. So let's focus on that and not the, I'd say it's just irrelevant traffic, unfortunately. So although the numbers look good, is it leading to sales? I'd be really, really surprised if it is. So maybe we should see. So the traffic here is 18,000 per month, and the value of traffic is $18,000. I'm just going to pick in. Now, this is obviously a really big website.
Yeah, these are like
But let's
national, aren't they? But at the same time, this is what you have to think about within this kind of industry is you're going to be competing for keywords and phrases to do with your location. So it's important to take a look at these kind of guys, and it's a great way to see what they are getting in and what you want to be competing for.
Yeah. So obviously they're in the millions, but the real thing I just want to pick out here is the difference between the traffic and the traffic cost. So the value of their traffic is about 2.5 times the number here. Whereas if we look at the traffic you were getting through for yours, it was about 1 to 1. So this shows us to them. This is obviously really, really broad, and it's a bit of a it's a broad way to look at things. But I would say then that they're getting twice as much commercial intent traffic coming through, or 2.5 times value traffic coming through per the amount of people searching. Obviously, it's much bigger in terms of volume, but on average, they're going after better keywords, is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely, well put. It's this, but I guess that's what it comes down to, isn't it? But it is important, and SEMRush is a great way as well to be looking at. You can dig into, so you can search, like so if you filter by keyword, you could type in Los Angeles here and take a look at what your competitors are ranking for within those keywords and phrases.
How do you spell LA? Oh my god!
I know, I'm like
Los. No, I spelled that right. I have. Okay.
Yeah. That's very cool. It was thinking about it. So we can see that they're ranking for 172 keywords, and look at the C's straight away for what they're competing and what they're trying to get in for. I mean, they're not potentially ranking for them, which shows a massive opportunity for you, but it is showing you what they're going after from a strategy perspective. So certainly worth bearing in mind, when you're looking at the likes of SEMRush. Get to that thankyounninjas.com and put your competitors in. Take a look at what they're ranking for. If it's location based, pop your location in and you can see what you're up against with the big guns in your market, because it is about finding those gaps for yourself.
Yeah, exactly that. We've had a few different questions coming, actually. Should we just quickly look at those?
Sure thing. Right? Yeah.
So which platform is best in terms of SEO, WordPress or Wix or other? Do you want to answer that one?
Oh, yeah, this is my favorite question next to your sliders, isn't it, this one? Oh, my goodness. If I totally get, for businesses who are starting out, they may be inclined to move over to Wix because Wix is nice and easy to use. The longer term viability of your business, you need to be looking at the likes of WordPress. We would absolutely 100 times say WordPress over Wix any day of the week. From a functionality perspective, from an SEO capabilities perspective, Wix is only going to take your business so far. It's built from a lot of JavaScript, and whilst it's got exceptionally better over the last few years from its SEO capabilities perspective, WordPress is your man. WordPress is what you want to be looking at if you're looking at to compare WordPress versus Wix. The other one, if you're looking for an easy e-commerce, we would generally recommend, if you're looking, if WordPress scares you more than anything, Shopify might be a better alternative if it's an e-commerce website that you're looking for from an SEO perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Next question, is this organic traffic? Yes, all the data we've looked at so far has been organic traffic. If we get a little bit of time, we might be able to look at another one where it's got more of the paid traffic as well. We'll look at that in just a sec, I think. There too. So yeah, when we've got multiple locations or a broad location, there's a few ways around going about this. So you can try and target them separately, or you can try and be a bit more broad and go for both of them. In reality, Google is smart enough to sort of know where you're trying to target, but it gets confused if you have so if we're in the US, for example, we have New York and LA trying to target the same page for that just wouldn't work because it's just two separate places. Whereas if they're close together, you might be able to get away with that. Could you combine that?
I think as well,
you might use LA rather than Los Angeles, right?
Yeah,
that might be an easier way.
Yeah, but so it comes down to as well, I think, where the majority of where the traffic is coming from and the biggest opportunities from an online perspective are going to be for you as well. Because if you've got, different pages that are Los Angeles for maybe your store in Los Angeles, and you've got one for florist, that's the word I'm looking for, not store. For a florist that's like Los Angeles, you've got a drop down that's dedicated to that page and one that's dedicated to Orange County. That is showing Google that you've got those two different locations as well if you've got different store pages.
Yeah, really good point. Is this a free website? Sorry, I'll click on that one.
Sorry,
again.
we've done that dance again. I'm going to...
Is this a free website? So SEMRush has a free trial. So if you go to thankyouninjas.com, you can get a 30-day free trial. And it is a paid tool, but if you find it useful, if it's helping you to work out your SEO, I'd 100% recommend it. It's got great stuff in terms of the research tools, and you can look at your competitors and all that stuff as well. I mean, there's no reason you could just get the free trial and just cancel it and use it for a month as well. So
that's it. We actively recommend to people who are looking to implement the changes themselves, get yourself organized, get yourself ready, and then absolutely go for it and spend the time over those couple of weeks to do your keyword research, to do your research, to look at your competitors, find those gaps, and then create obviously everything off the back of that during that free trial period for yourself.
Yeah, awesome. So we've got one more site. We've not watched time, so maybe it's a bit of a whistle-stop tour.
Yeah,
but
and you've got to go to your trade as well to get down to the UK search box ready. So let's not.
We won't go over. We'll just do a bit of a teaser for this one then. So this is we'll probably spend a bit more time on this next week. Red flag alert. So actually, what I'll just do is we'll go into the paid ads stuff, because I know that's one that has actually paid ads. So this business, we're going to look at them a little bit more in terms of traffic potentially next week, but let's just dive straight into the paid traffic tools that SEMRush has, because this is quite an interesting thing you can use as well. Maybe look at your competitors, or you can look at what you're doing as well, but obviously you've got much bigger and better data in Google Ads. But for competitor research, this is a great tool. So we're on red flag alerts, SEMRush URL. We've clicked on advertising research, and now we're just looking at the UK database, and we can see the keywords that they're currently bidding on. Can we see the ads for this one as well? I'm sure we used to be able to do that.
Yeah. Can you there you go. Yeah.
Hover over the ads, you can actually see the ad that they're running. You can see the CPCs, you can see the traffic. Now this is quite useful because you might be able to see where your competitors are, what they're targeting. You can even see if they're maybe wasting money, which can sometimes be quite exciting, because you're like, oh, they're actually they don't know what they're doing. And often what we'll see here is businesses will just try and target everything, and that means they're spending loads of money on irrelevant keywords that might not have any intent behind them. But yeah, this is a really cool tool to use. So we had a look at these guys, and we can see that at the moment, lead generation. So that is a really, 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 really broad keyword, isn't it, Andrea? Like,
yeah,
what are they trying to target with the keyword lead generation at £10 a click as well?
Yeah, I'm not 100% certain that that's the right kind of strategy for these guys. We'll certainly dig deeper next week with them for sure here to find out. But I like to look at the paid search options to give me an idea of where I think the business focus is and what they think is important to them. And I think if you're doing this at home, for your competitors, it gives you a feel of where they think the market is, where they think the strategy is. And this can be really useful to then steal this strategy for your organic, because you're thinking, well, these guys are obviously, they're getting results from targeting these keywords and phrases. Do I need to be thinking about this from an organic perspective on things as well? But what you have to be careful of is, some keywords are just so competitive that you're going to want to use paid advertising to get your cut of them, to get your slice of them. And this is where, those industries come in where they are, paying £10.32 for a click through to a keyword saying lead generation. I'm not sure that that's the correct strategy without knowing more. You'd be better off, I think, going for a longer tail keyword that is explaining what you mean by lead generation, to make sure you're getting the right quality traffic coming through, and you're an exact match for that. I mean, I don't know where they take somebody through to a lead generation page. What?
Yeah, it's a good point. So this is the landing page. Search for your business leads. So this is finding your own leads through So it is a lead gen tool. I guess they have lots of different tools here, so maybe it makes a bit of sense. But it's such a broad keyword, isn't it? I think that's the thing here.
Yeah.
And when you've got lots of different platforms, solutions, and even types of businesses that you work with, this is where, again, keyword research is really, really, really important, so that you are not wasting money. Or if you are targeting those sort of more broader keywords, you can at least test it and see if it works. And if it's working, if it's getting you leads, obviously that's amazing. But often what we do find, 9 times out of 10, if it's a super like expensive and broad keyword, it's, unless your landing page is amazing, it can be really hard to make those sort of keywords profitable. I think we have to call it a day, because it's
you've got to get on your
it's
train.
2 o'clock. Yeah, I don't want to miss that train.
Just make sure there's no questions that we've missed here. So if we have got from past, before, after. I'm not quite sure what you mean there.
Oh, okay. So I think you're saying the positions. So I think with these ones, I'm not 100% sure on this. I can ask someone. But typically, if it's a new keyword, it will show from not showing up to the position it's in. I don't think this is a very important. The most important ones are the keywords, the ads, and volume and CPCs with this. So I'm not sure if I understand the question entirely, but
no,
we can have a look. We can have a
little dig around for you. That's no problem. Super stuff. So we are going to be back same time next week to do more of the live reviews. If you haven't already, please do submit your website in the description. You can find how to do that in the description, on the YouTube video below. And of course, you can also request your free digital marketing review as well. So look forward to seeing you all next week. Lots more reviews to go through, lots more traffic to look at. And until then, have a great rest of the week.
See you later, everyone. Bye.